Hey guys, as you might have already heard, my latest book will be out soon and you can pre-order it from today onwards. And if you pre-order it, it will be delivered to you by 7th of July. And in the upcoming weeks, I will post some videos where I read from the book and maybe dive into some subjects a little deeper, just so you get a picture on what you're about to buy, and I really hope you like it. And yeah, enjoy the ride. Love. A tribal elder sits by the fire with his granddaughter. It is a special night. The stars shine brightly, and yet a hazy mist lies over the landscape. The crescent moon appears mystically veiled, as if the dust that lies before it is the ethereal substance that connects everything. Jilly stares into the dancing flames for a long time. Then he begins to speak thoughtfully. Do you recognize the great whole that shows itself to us here, dear Elia? It is to be found in the stars that dance in the distant firmament, as in the grains of sand that form the soil of the steppe. In every blade of grass it is to be found, in every atom that forms matter, and in every particle of space, for space, only seemingly empty, connects everything with each other. Elia looks at the stars twinkling in the night sky for a long time, and then answers, Intuitively, I know exactly what you are talking about, but my mind is so attuned to perceiving everything separately that I can feel the truth in your words with my heart, but not grasp it with my thoughts. Let me tell you the story of our tribe, humanity, from the beginning, for your doubting thoughts to find peace. Being human is a journey, and there is ancient knowledge that was once deposited in the other world to serve as a guide for travelers on this path. I gained access to this knowledge some time ago, and tonight I wish to share it with you so that you may share it with the world. The cry of an owl pierces the silence of the night. The other world gives me its blessing, Jilly thinks to himself, and then begins to narrate deliberately. In the beginning was the All-One Consciousness. It was, and is, perfectly whole in itself. It is. The Bible says, in the beginning was the Word. In my cosmos, this means that the All-One Consciousness asked itself one day, who am I? And since there was nothing but this consciousness, this all-one, whole in itself consciousness, these words, this question, filtered the consciousness into two aspects so that it could recognize itself. This first of all questions became the first of all mirrors. This recognition of the self in a self-made mirror gave all one so much pleasure that it developed its first and to this day only hobby, experiencing itself in ever new mirrors, i.e. other forms, dimensions, times, and relationships. So all one created the first world, the beyond. In what we humans call the beyond, many different worlds developed. They are all of a subtle nature. All one then also wove a form for itself in which it could interact with this other world, the subtle world. This form is the astral body. That was very interesting for a while. All one could experience itself in ever new forms, be they light, shadow, color, sound. In all these forms, however, it still knew what it was, and that all these myriad appearances were part of itself, the great whole. Then, all one thought that it could also create a more material world, that it could create another avatar from its avatar called the astral body, a mirror in the mirror. To do this, it would let individual components from the other world sink down, let them vibrate so slowly that they would become more and more solid materially, whereby they would also become more and more clearly separated from each other. Through this separation, the more material world would also enable a more separate experience. All one ran in circles, clapping and cheering. What an absolute superb idea! It would certainly be a great experience, the experience of separation through mirrors that it itself created. It would become the alchemist of being, always refining, expanding, and deepening. And so, many of these worlds came into being as the vibration of individual components of the beyond slowed down. One can imagine this as the formation of a star. At first, there is only gravity, which, universally speaking, corresponds to the separating intention of all one. And individual grains of dust and gases get caught in it. Depending on how these three components then continue to behave, whole planets or stars can emerge from them. Each of the space races perceived today as more evolved has already gone through this evolution into matter and then out of it again. For in all one, up equals down, which means that for an ascent, a descent is first required. The lost world that came into being in this way is this world, the world in which man moves today. This world is already an information transformation machine within an information transformation machine, and man is another information transformation machine within it. For he, too, is capable of creating further expressions of all one and thus new information. His children, his thoughts, his emotions, his words and deeds, his physical perceptions and his imagination are all such mirrors in a mirror in a mirror. At the same time, man is pure, all-one consciousness, for from this he was created. What he is made of is the absolutely same essence, which only differs in that it has passed through different filters and has therefore apparently taken on different forms. This means everything that exists consists of the same primordial matter. This primordial matter has been split, transformed, and reassembled, which is why it appears to consist of different materials. But it is true that fire, water, earth, and air originated from the same original material. The separation has only progressed so far in the meantime that this original material is practically no longer perceptible from the human perspective. For the primordial material is all one, and that which separates and recomposes it is the intention of all one. The primordial material from which everything emerged is consciousness itself, which had the intention of creating as many different forms as possible from itself. Within these forms appear as final truth. As soon as a consciousness leaves the world of forms and appearances behind, it is again perfectly clear that there is only one primordial matter from whose reflection everything is formed. Man is the last great creation from this primordial matter. From the complexity of the human system in comparison with the unicellular organism, one can see very well how long the separation and reunification in all one has already been taking place. Since man was created from this primordial matter, he is able to connect with the gross world, the subtle world, and the all-one world, i.e. to communicate with all three worlds. What a great world modifier such a human being is. Yeah, I will continue next week. Thank you very much for listening. This is how the book looks. It has 344 pages. And yeah, I'd be really happy if you order one. And for sure, I will sign all of the pre-orders. Yeah, thank you so much for your attention. Have a great evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.